What's up YouTube, Siegfried Laner, and today we are going to be doing a guide on the simulated universe using the brand new Dan Heng unit. So I will see you guys in just a minute. Catch you later. What's up everyone, here with Dan Heng IL. Before we start this video, full disclosure, my Dan Heng IL is E6R5, but this guide will actually be effective even at E0 with the free-to-play R5 5-star light cone, which you should have already had done from the Herta store. Anyways, I'm going to go over this guide. I'm going to go over some of the differences that would occur due to the E6 and the R5, but other than that, we will kind of see where it's at. So let's go ahead and first take a look at the differences between running this at E6R5 and E0 with the free-to-play, okay? So obviously the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Eidolons, things you're not going to have. If you have E2 because you spent some money, then this is the difference is going to be significantly less. The only major difference is going to be the 60% imagery resolution when we have some burst modes, which isn't actually going to be the big thing here, as well as the constant crit damage buff, which is honestly even you can negligible that by if you just attack before using the ultimate, you'll have that crit buff. Actually, I don't think you would, so I don't think you should keep that crit buff. But that crit buff is only going to be a total of 12.6 times 4, so 48, probably about 50% crit damage, which is high, but not as high when you see where we're going to be at in this run. So the other thing is his light cone, of course, we have here is 30% crit rate, 30% attack, and again 60% attack and 20% energy regeneration. If you have this light cone, again, these numbers aren't going to be nearly as high. This is only going to be an extra 12% and an extra 4% here, and an extra 12% here. So not going to be nearly as high if you have his light cone. But if you don't have his light cone, the difference is going to be using this one, which is going to be a total of 16 attack 4 times. And then, of course, whenever you get weakness break, an extra 24% damage buff. And he is going to get weakness. He's going to break weaknesses quite often, actually, to be honest. So getting that imprisonment isn't that hard to get, but he's going to be doing it quite often. But, 16% crit damage twice, that stacks for the whole battle, is very important for the final boss, because that is a total of, what, 64% attack buff? So this is actually give you more attack percent than his signature light cone. Because this is going to give you 60, but this is going to give you 64. So you technically get more attack from this, and then of course you're going to get that extra 20% damage here. So light cone, really good. I don't think Blades is... I think, honestly, this is better than Blades, personally. I could be wrong, but the fact that... I mean, like... you get this 28% damage boost when they attack you, but this one you're going to get that 24% damage boost for 2 turns when you break, and you're going to break enemies pretty well. So, kind of the differences between that is you're going to get 4% more attack and 24% more damage with the free-to-play version. You're going to get more crit rate, energy recharge with this one. And I do believe this is probably going to have a higher stat at the end. I don't know what this. I don't have this one at 80s, as you can say. I don't know where it's going to be at. But it does have a pretty high base attack stat, so you probably get a higher attack stat from this one as well. So that's really about it. The 60% penetration, imagery penetration. But as you see how this plays, that's not going to be that big of a deal. This level 2's on both skills, not the hugest difference. This one is about 50% crit damage. Again, when you see where we're at, it's not going to be as big as it is at a base level. And then of course, right here, this is the big one. But if you're running at E0, you're not going to have this, which is really useful, but you can make up for it just by doing an ultimate before his attack instead of attack, ultimate attack. So, even in this build, it's not going to make much of a difference, as you see why with what we're running. And this one, again, is just a little bit of a damage boost. So realistically, this is doable at E0. It's not going to make that big of a difference. Relics. Now let's go over the relics I'm running. I am running a 2-piece Wasteland, 2-piece Musketeer. The reason why, and this is something that I've not seen people actually talk about. Realistically, with how you have scale, like, diminishing returns, and you have caps what you need, my Dan Heng is at 82% crit rate. He does not need this 10%. He does not need to be at 92%, to be perfectly honest. Not necessary. On top of this, the 20% crit damage itself is, like, they gotta be in prison for that. That's not gonna be easy to upkeep unless you're running Welt on the team, in which Welt is probably ideal. If you're running the 4-piece, you're gonna want Welt on the team. If you're running the team I'm going to be running, which is going to be 2 buffing units instead of a nerfing unit, you're going to see that I'm going to have a lot more damage. Mostly the reason being that while Silver Wolf is great on single target enemies, the problem is she's only debuffing a single target. She's not debuffing AoE. So in World 7, where you have like 4 enemies at the end, Dan Heng's going to do more damage if you can buff his damage more than nerfing somebody else's defenses. So for that reason, we're going to be using Yukong. Now Yukong, we're using her, and one thing that I'm using on all 3 of my supports here, and one reason that's really good to use these supports, is that they're all running this effect-resistant chain that is also going to increase my team's crit damage by a total of 30%, because all 3 edit stacks. The other thing about Yukong is she can run this light cone here, which is going to give me a 24% damage increase since they're both imaginary damage. She's also going to get a flat 12% damage increase to imaginary, which gives us a 34% damage increase just for her being on the field. Next, we have her ultimate, which is going to give me 27% crit rate, which is going to cap me, and 61% crit damage. So when I do my ultimate and then my basic attack, I'm going to 100% crit, and I'm going to have massive crit damage. I'm also going to be... You can also see in our bowstrings, it's also giving me a 60% attack boost. And Yukong is not finished yet. Once Yukong is finished, this team is going to be massive. But I got to finish off at least getting these 2 done. I don't really plan to do the rest of these. I'll probably do the HP just so she has more survivability. And finish buffing her at some point, but this is the priority right here, these 2 right here. The other support unit, of course, is Bronya. Now, Bronya's pretty much done. The only thing she has is this right here, which doesn't matter that much, to be perfectly honest. I mean, let's just forwarding her attack by 2%. It gives me another 6%, so she'll be like 34 when it's done. And she's not really my attack unit, so I'm not really worried about these 2. I'll get it at some point, probably after I finish off Yukong's, getting Yukong's most basic stuff out of the way. And then, of course, running Lucha here. Lucha is E2, so he is going to give an attack boost of 20%. Oh yeah, sorry, back to Bronya, I forgot to say this. She does have her light cone, so she's going to give a 30% damage buff when she uses her skill for 1 turn. She does have her ultimate maxed out, so she's going to be giving the 16.8 of her own crit plus 21.6, which when we get into battle, we'll kind of see how that works out. She's going to be having the Dispel ability and increase their damage by 66%, so she's going to give a damage boost there, an attack boost here, a crit damage boost here. So we're pretty much going to have the crit rate at 100% crit with Yukong, who's then going to increase her crit damage, which is then going to overall increase the crit damage she gives to Dan Heng. Dan Heng is going to be a crazy crit damage. We're going to have attack boost because of his arena. It's going to be pretty insane. So that is pretty much the team we are running. Again, they're all running the 30% crit damage boost. She is running this here, the air set. I do need to switch her boots over for attack boots or HP boots because I don't think she needs speed. I would actually rather her be slower than Dan Heng, to be honest, so she can get Dan Heng a second attack to build his ultimate. He's, of course, running attack and heal. Steer, attack. And we have Yukong running the full imaginary set, mostly just because it doesn't really matter, and if they're her set doesn't really matter that much. So that is a set. That is the rotation we're going to be running. I will see you guys back in when we hit into the actual simulated universe. All right, so we are getting ready to go into the simulated universe. What we're going to actually be doing is we're going to be skipping all the small fights, and I'm just going to be playing when I get to the elite after we get through the first hall, and I'll go through my buffs when we get to the elite. Okay? So let's go ahead and get this going. World 7. Take our team here. Hopefully we get the buffs that we want from the hunt. There is a couple of, like, if you get like the perfect roll, you will have the craziest time. Alright, it's not a bad one to have right there because we are going to have consecutive attacks. Again, we're going to try to rush this as quick as possible. I'm not going to talk too much just as I want to get through this. But I'm just going to bring up Dan Heng first and let Dan Heng just eliminate things as quick as possible. Again, we're looking for a couple hunts. Sadly, actually, this one's not bad. We can actually get energy and timber. Get energy is good. Okay, there's an attack boost there. Good. Getting the crit damage is really important early on. So getting crit damage, crit rate is not really that necessary in the beginning, but crit damage is. Because an extra 20% crit damage is always nice. Alright, speed buff. We got our elite ability. Gonna move through here. Let Bronya do her attack. Sadly, Bronya is not really coming through here to help me as much as she should be. Alright, we don't need it right now, but hopefully she'll start proccing that, saving a skill point. Okay, there's our first one saving. That's good. Go let him attack with this so he gets his 3 stacks. Again, I'm at E2, so I will get a full attack with the full 3 stacks, which is really the reason I suggest going for E2, and that being the main stopping point. Alright. Forward advancement, very good. Delaying actions when they're broken, that's really good. And then lightning arrow, lightning celestial. Oh, which I do have to figure out a way to get Dan Heng's attack over what Lucha's is, because Lucha's attack is much higher, and it does kind of cause a problem for that buff. 2 stacks. Should be enough. If we had the 3 stacks, we would one-shot that, which is kind of annoying. Okay, there's our crit damage. Perfect. Alright, first lead. So we take a look at our base crit damage right here with him. As you can see right now, his base crit damage at almost 250% with a 98.2% crit chance. He's going to crit. We're going to bring him forward. We're going to just pop all of our buffs. Let things go. So the point of this is we're going to get his crit damage to probably close to 500 after this. It's going to be high. It's going to be at least another 120%, so it's going to be between 400 to 500. There it is. 316. Okay, it should be higher than that. I don't feel like she's giving the crit damage with like she's supposed to. I think something's messing up there, because that should be higher than that. We didn't get the 60% from Yukon, which I'm not sure why. Alright. At the beginning, oh, good. This is probably the most important one to get, is when a character defeats an enemy, there are actions forwarded by 100%, and at the beginning of the next turn, they gain 4 stacks of critical boost. This is an important one to get. That's probably the first one you want to pull if you can get it. Alright, with that said, I'm going to catch you guys at the next elite. I'm going to pause this so this video is shorter, and I'll see you guys at the next elite. Okay, so we're at the second elite. My orange has not been the best for getting what we needed. We're going to go and get ready to go this fight again. This elite shouldn't be too bad to kill. We're going to do a little different though this time. What we're actually going to do is we're going to pop that up. Get our bowstrings up right off the bat. And then we're going to actually start by applying these now. So what I want to see is, do we actually lose one of these when we pop it? Because I'm confused why we're actually losing stacks. We shouldn't have been losing any stacks, to be honest. Yeah, we didn't lose any stacks, so I don't get what... Unless that causes... Does that limit cost of the stack? Okay, so I'm confused onto why I lost any stacks, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I have no idea why I lost stacks. I shouldn't have lost any stacks at all, but it is what it is. Go and let him go and get his attack off. And let's just go ahead and finish this off real quick. So that's the second elite. As you can see, not too hard, pretty easy. Perfect, we get the stack of crit boost there. Then we take this one next, and we'll go to the next side of the fall. Now, the second hull, I'm going to go ahead and keep it live, because I think we should be fine here now. We won't go over the time period. We're just going to run right through it, see what we get here. We do need to get one more hunt buff. We do have a lot of the good ones. There's still one I could really, really use. I'm hoping we can get it, but it's not one to drop. We've got a lot of useless buffs because they kept giving us useless buffs, which really sucked. So we need to take a look around. Is there anything we can break? Okay. We do know that there it is. Perfect. There's our 3-star buff that we needed. We're going to go ahead and encounter. Alright. Perfect. We need the hunt. We don't care. I don't care about elation. Hunt is what we need. Okay, perfect. That is great. Yes, we're going to bring up Dan Heng first. Let him do his triple. Straight into his ultimate. He's going to heal everybody up pretty much. The one we want to get is the killing one. We want to get the one to kill, restore energy. That would be the best. But we don't seem to get that one. This one isn't bad to grab though. So we'll grab that one. So we won't get 100% energy restoration, which is kind of a bummer. But we will get at least our attacks forward, which should probably make up for it. The question is, what can we buff up? Okay. So these ones don't really matter that much, to be perfectly honest. What's going to matter more is, I would say, the crit damage boost. So let me see it here. Yeah, if we grab this one, this will actually give us a lot of crit damage. So we're going to grab this one here. And we go to the final boss. Now the trick here is we're going to want to wait for the boss to bring out ads. The boss needs to bring out the ads for us to actually be in a point that actually matters. So we're going to hold off a bit here. Pop that right off the bat so we get those enemies down a bit. Get our attack boost up. Get our double. Go ahead and throw this again. Then we get the adds back up. Run that again. So we're going to let him actually kill here. There we go, got our ultimate. What sucks is that if I'd actually on the one we wanted, I would pretty much get stacks of ultimate every time. But not getting that is kind of a major bummer. The good news is that we are ready here. We can go ahead and buff this up here. Alright. This is going to be where we do the massive amount of damage. We're going to go ahead and go this route. I'm not sure why it messed up before, but hopefully that stack will not disappear this time when I use Brony's ability. I'm not sure what caused it to. Let me take a look here what his stats are. 800 crit damage. Look at that, 800 crit damage. This is insane. Alright. And he still should have that 800 crit. Like, now he's at 520, right? So, he's pretty good off right now. There we go. So again, do realize that your damage is probably not going to be exactly that high, but I mean, like, it's going to be at least half of that, which at E0. So that's going to make Dan Heng a god tier unit. And there is one buff we did not get, which would have restored my energy by 100, which meant that every time I killed, I would have had my ultimate back up and 100 energy, allowing me to ultimate kill. And on top of that, there's another one you get where consecutive attacks is going to increase your skill points. So with good RNG, you could realistically at E0 be playing him as Azala with like, or like E2 with super high energy recharge. But anyways, guys, we're going to go and take a look at what the buffs could be though. So the hunts that you're going to want, the biggest ones I find are going to be down here. Actually, go with the hunt here. This is really good, but breaking an enemy weakness advances the forward 100%, increases their damage by 100%. This is really good. Dan Heng can easily break characters if they have the imaginary defenses, and some side enemies do. This is a big one. Defeating an enemy regenerates 60% of his health. That is going to allow you to pretty much ultimate. Again, if you have him at E2, he's going to ultimate attack, pretty much back and forth. Because you get that 60%, plus you're going to get what he gets from that fully charged attack. The speed buff is nice, this crit damage is really nice. So this is kind of like what we're looking at here, right? Now there is a couple buffs we didn't get. We'll take a look at those once we get out of here. So you take a look at the buffs that actually would have made this fight even easier that we didn't have. Now the crit ones are great because there's one that, like, if you get over 100% crit, so you get over 100% crit rate, it goes to your crit damage. But let's take a look at the blessings in the hunt that would have been more useful. So obviously we got, we didn't get this one, I don't think, which is kind of frustrating. Or maybe, yeah, because we had this one. Now, actually, oh wait, no, that's the ranges. Okay, so the first one we have right here is this attack boost, right? The critical boost is really good, especially if you get to 12, because that's 6% crit rate and then 12% up to 8 times. In other words, 96% crit damage. And then, of course, you get stacks from this. When you defeat an enemy, this is a really good one, by the way. This one we did not have, but in this one, when you have this one, anytime you defeat an enemy, you're going to go again. This is, if you have this one with this one, and again, get this buffed up. If you have this, and you have this, these three, you are doing insane amount of damage, and you're going to have pretty much non-stop rotations with Dan Heng. He's just going to be ultimate, normal, ultimate, normal, ultimate, normal. It's a really, really nice little setup there. The other one you want to take a look at getting is this one right here, this critical damage boost, right? Once it gets over 100%, for every 1% crit rate that exceeds 100, you get 3% crit damage to 150%. So if you get 50% crit rate, which, as you saw, I would easily hit, you'll get 100% more crit damage, which is insane. And then if you up this, right, you can get an extra 0.2% crit damage, you know, to up to 200%. So you get an extra 50% there. This is pretty good to have, as that's going to be really good healing. That's some healing there. You have the ways to get your critical boost, which is really good. This right here is going to be great with that set because now you're getting, you know, like the attacks, non-stun attacks, right? This one not so much, to be perfectly honest. This one not so much. This one's pretty good to start with. This one is, well, if the critical boost, it's okay. Crit damage is, you know, good, of course. So if you can actually get these 3 buffs, right, and you can get these ones here, your Dan Heng is going to be attacking non-stop. He's kind of like, he pretty much plays like Zayla. And he's going to make any floor you run extremely easy. So I do highly suggest, if you're going to try to go for, like, if you're debating whether or not to go for him, he can make the simulated universe a cakewalk. He can make the Forgotten Hall a cakewalk. And really, I've seen other people running, and I will tell you, running their units and seeing how hard they struggle, Dan Heng really, really fixes that. So I would say Dan Heng is a good summon to go for just because of what he can do. He is a DPS. I don't believe they would ever nerf him because they've never really nerfed a character in any of their MiHoYo games. They might actually do a roundabout nerf by creating enemies that he's a little more weak to, but I don't see them actually nerfing him himself because that would create a lot of outrage in China. It created a lot of outrage in the US. People would be mad that they spent money on a character that got nerfed. No one, and they would feel cheated, to be honest. Legally they could, 100%, but I don't think they would because it'd be horrible backlash, and it'd be a really quick way to kill the game. I think we're more likely to see probably buffs implemented on the other characters to make them a little more usable. But I think pretty much Dan Heng is just going to be like Zhongli. You know, he's going to be the unit in the game that changes the game for you if you have him. Anyways, guys, we're going to leave it there. If you have any questions, oh, real quick, if you're on the JP server, I play on the JP server. If you're needing a person who has the unit you want to use, feel free to add me. This is my UID. Feel free to go ahead and send me a friend's request. As long as you're playing regularly, you're always welcome to use my character. He's, as you can see right here, he's up on the top. And I will see you guys later. Secret True Lane, signing out.